Friends, today I want to speak a hard but necessary truth. The title is, She Only Used You, Here's Why. And I want you to listen carefully, because this is not just about relationships, this is about your identity. Let me start with a shocking reality. When someone uses you, the real problem is not them. The real problem is that you did not know your own worth. When your purpose is unclear, people will use you for theirs. When your identity is weak, exploitation becomes inevitable. You may be asking yourself, why did she do it? She made promises, showed dreams, spoke of the future, and then she left. The truth is, people will only value you as much as you value yourself. If you do not know your worth, the world will set your price, and the world always bargains cheaply. Your pain came because you attached your identity to her behavior. Remember this: when you hand over your identity to another human being, you also hand over your happiness and control to them. If you do not know your worth, the world will define it for you, and the price it sets will always be far below what you are truly worth. Listen carefully. Every day, countless people go through life allowing others to determine their value. They seek approval, validation, or recognition from people who themselves have no concept of real worth. And this is why so many are used, overlooked, and dismissed. You see, the problem is never the person who uses you. The problem is the identity you have given them permission to shape. People give you exactly what you tolerate. If you tolerate being treated as less than, if you tolerate being taken for granted, if you tolerate being sidelined, then that becomes your reality. Now, let me ask you, who decides your value? Society, a relationship, your job title, your achievements? No. Your worth is intrinsic, established by the Creator, unchangeable and eternal. Yet how many live each day as if their identity and value are negotiable commodities? How many allow themselves to be defined by opinions, judgments, or temporary circumstances? When you do not understand your value, you make yourself vulnerable to exploitation. You hand over the control of your happiness, your peace, and your destiny to someone else. Imagine this: a man or a woman walks through life constantly seeking acceptance. They bend, they compromise, they overextend, all because they have not taken a moment to define who they are and what they deserve. Every time they seek approval, they weaken their own position. And those who notice this weakness do not see a partner, they see an opportunity. The world, without mercy, takes advantage of those who do not value themselves. You must understand, being used is not a reflection of your failure, it is a reflection of your self-perception at that time. When your value is unclear to you, everyone else will set the price, and their price is always cheaper than what God intended for you. Listen to this carefully. Your worth is not dependent on what you can do for someone. Your worth is not dependent on how much love, attention, or effort you give. Your worth exists whether anyone recognizes it or not. Your value is not determined by temporary circumstances. You are not a product to be sold at discount. You are a creation with a divine design and a purpose that cannot be replicated or replaced. And yet, so many walk in darkness, looking to others for validation, completely unaware that their identity is their ultimate defense against exploitation. Now here is the critical hook. The moment you realize your worth, everything changes. Suddenly, people who previously dismissed you, manipulated you, or underestimated you can no longer control you. You begin to live with clarity. You begin to operate from strength rather than need. The recognition of your value is not arrogance, it is awareness. And when you understand your intrinsic value, you will never again settle for less than you deserve. You will no longer allow temporary approval to dictate permanent decisions. Understand this truth: the world will always try to define your worth. But the moment you define it yourself, you take control of your life. You stop being an option and start being a priority. You stop being a commodity and start being a force. You stop giving your power away and start using it to create, lead, and fulfill the purpose for which you were designed. Remember, knowing your worth is not about pride, it is about survival, growth, and mastery of your destiny. Do not wait for someone to affirm your value. Do not wait for external validation. Look inward, discover the unique qualities, gifts, and potential that no one else possesses, and claim them boldly. The world can only use what you allow, and it can only undervalue what you permit to be undervalued. When you truly recognize your worth, the chains of manipulation, misuse, and misjudgment fall away. Your life becomes intentional, your decisions become precise, and your destiny unfolds with the power and clarity of someone who knows exactly who they are and refuses to allow anyone else to tell them differently. Boundaries are not a suggestion, they are the foundation of a life lived with purpose and authority. Listen carefully. Without clearly defined limits, you will be taken, used, and drained by people who do not understand your mission. Every day, countless individuals allow their energy, their focus, and their vision to be consumed by others simply because they have not drawn the line between what is theirs and what belongs to someone else. When you fail to set boundaries, you surrender control of your life. You hand over your decisions, your peace, and even your identity to those who have no intention of respecting it. And this is why so many people feel exhausted, frustrated, and trapped in cycles of disappointment. They have given others permission to dictate the terms of their existence. Now consider this truth. Boundaries are not walls, they are declarations of self-respect. When you set boundaries, you are saying to the world, I will not allow my energy to be wasted. I will not allow my focus to be stolen. I will not allow my purpose to be compromised. People may push against them, they may question them, they may even resist them, but your boundaries are a reflection of your understanding of your value. And here is the hook. The moment you enforce your limits, something powerful happens. Suddenly, the energy that was once scattered is concentrated. Suddenly, your focus is no longer diluted. Suddenly, your vision, which was once at risk of being overshadowed, shines with clarity and intensity. Every leader, every visionary, every person who has accomplished great things knows this principle. Without boundaries, influence is weak and purpose is vulnerable. Boundaries protect your time, your energy, and your emotional stability. They determine the quality of the relationships you attract, the opportunities that come your way, and the legacy you leave behind. A person without boundaries becomes a magnet for misuse and manipulation, while a person with clear boundaries becomes a beacon of respect and power. Listen carefully, it is not the people who challenge your limits that define you, it is your response to them. Enforcing your boundaries is an act of courage, an act of self-awareness, and an act of leadership. Here is another truth to grasp. Boundaries are also about discernment. They teach you to differentiate between what is temporary and what is permanent, between what is genuine and what is superficial, between what aligns with your purpose and what distracts from it. Every time you honor your boundaries, you honor yourself. Every time you protect your energy, you protect your destiny. And the hook here is undeniable. People will test your limits, not because they want to hurt you, but because the world constantly seeks to see who can control you. When you hold firm, you demonstrate that your life is not negotiable, your vision is not optional, and your purpose is not for sale. Boundaries also teach responsibility, personal responsibility. You are accountable for the energy you give, the time you invest, and the attention you offer. Without boundaries, you pour into others at the expense of your own growth. With boundaries, you channel your resources strategically, ensuring that every effort, every moment, and every decision serves the purpose you were designed to fulfill. And here is the hook. The people who respect your limits will rise to meet your standards, and the ones who do not will naturally fall away, leaving space for relationships and opportunities that honor your vision and elevate your destiny. Now consider this. Enforcing boundaries is not a one-time action. It is a continuous declaration of self-respect and purpose. Every day you will be tested. Every day there will be distractions, demands, and challenges that attempt to pull you away from your mission. The question is not whether these tests will come. The question is whether you will stand firm, protect your energy, and refuse to compromise your vision. Boundaries are the invisible force that allows you to move through life with clarity, authority, and unstoppable momentum. They are the armor of the purposeful, the shield of the disciplined, and the foundation of every life that achieves greatness. Pain is not a punishment, it is a revelation. Listen carefully. Every time you feel used, betrayed, or abandoned, the first instinct is to see it as a failure, a defeat, or a reflection of your inadequacy. But the truth is far more empowering. Pain exposes where your identity is unclear, where your purpose is undefined, and where you have given away control of your life. It is a signal, a divine alarm, alerting you to the places where your life is out of alignment with the destiny you were created to fulfill. The hook here is critical. The moment you shift your perspective, pain stops being an enemy and starts being a teacher. It is the revelation that opens your eyes to your own worth, to your own strength, and to the areas that require your attention, focus, and discipline. Consider this: every person who has achieved greatness has experienced moments of betrayal, disappointment, and misuse. These are not accidents. They are the testing grounds of character. They are the mirrors that reflect weaknesses that must be strengthened. When someone uses you, it is not because you lack value, it is because your understanding of your value has not yet been fully realized. Pain strips away illusions, exposes false pretenses, and forces you to confront reality. And here is the hook: if you ignore this revelation, the cycle repeats. But if you embrace it, every experience becomes a building block for greater wisdom, resilience, and power. You must understand the principle that pain is selective, not arbitrary. It targets the areas that need your immediate attention. It challenges the aspects of your life that are undefined, unclaimed, or underdeveloped. When you feel hurt by someone's actions, it is a divine way of saying, pay attention here, grow here, become stronger here. And the hook is undeniable. Every setback, every disappointment, every misuse is an invitation to claim what is rightfully yours: your identity, your purpose, and your destiny. Those who do not learn this lesson remain victims of circumstances. Those who understand it rise above, using pain as a compass, not a cage. Now listen carefully. Suffering is temporary, but revelation is permanent. Pain may feel overwhelming in the moment, but its true value lies in what it teaches you. It exposes the weaknesses that must be fortified, the boundaries that must be established, and the decisions that must be made to protect your life, your energy, and your vision. The hook here is simple: your greatest breakthroughs often arrive disguised as your deepest pain. The moment you stop resisting and start learning, you transform suffering into strategy, weakness into strength, and loss into direction. Another truth to grasp: revelation requires reflection. Pain alone does not produce growth. The hook here is subtle but powerful. You must actively analyze the experience, understand the patterns, and identify the lessons embedded within. When you do this, every experience of being used or misjudged becomes a blueprint for future success. You develop discernment, the ability to read people, situations, and opportunities with clarity. You learn to separate those who lift you from those who drain you. You learn to recognize temporary distractions from permanent alignments. Finally, understand this principle: revelation through pain positions you for your true destiny. Every person who walks with purpose encounters trials that are calibrated to prepare them for the next level. The pain is not permanent. The lesson is. The hook is undeniable. When you embrace revelation, you no longer fear being used, you no longer fear loss, and you no longer fear betrayal. Instead, you become a person of authority, wisdom, and discernment. Pain stops being a detour and becomes a direct path to your purpose, a key that unlocks your identity, and a catalyst that propels you into your destiny.